Hi guys, welcome to the first chapter of Chasing Vermeer. I'll be reading the story. So the first time I should recommend you guys just listen to it as I read through. After that you might want to take some notes. I even have set up for myself some post-its and a pencil so I can take some notes as well as I go through. After you guys watch the video, take some notes on it. There will also be some questions. I also recommend that you might want to peek at those questions beforehand so you know what you're really looking for as you're listening to me tell the story. I'm going to show you that sheet. This is a Google form. I will have questions set up for you, including your name, your class, things like that. And this is Chapter 1, so you guys get a little bit of preview. There's some questions that you just choose one, some multiple choice, and some things that you write. So make sure that you guys fill this out completely. Hit submit right here on the bottom, and what it will do is it will send it directly to me so I'll know exactly when you do your work. Every week there'll be something different depending on each and every chapter. If you have any questions about those, you can always come in and ask me. Try to do the best that you can. It is part of Google Forms, so even if you want to ask some questions online, Google that. You'll probably get some ideas of how to submit everything. And now what we've all been waiting for, Chapter 1 of Chasing Vermeer. Chapter 1, 3 Deliveries. On a warm October night in October, 3 deliveries were made in the same neighborhood. A plump tangerine moon had just risen over Lake Michigan. The doorbell had been rung at each place and an envelope left propped outside. Each front door was opened onto an empty street. Each of the 3 people who lived in those homes lived alone, and each had a hard time falling asleep that night. The letter went out to all 3. Dear friends, I would like your help in identifying a crime that is now centuries old. The crime has wronged one of the world's greatest painters. As those in positions of authorities are not brave enough to correct this error, I have taken it upon myself to reveal the truth. I have chosen you because of your discriminating eye, your intelligence, and your ability to think outside of convention. If you wish to help me, you will be amply rewarded for any risk that you take. You may not show this letter to anyone. 2 other people in the world have received this document tonight. Although you may never meet, the 3 of you will work together in ways none of us can predict. If you show this to the authorities, you will most certainly be placing your life in danger. You will know how to respond. I congratulate you on your pursuit of justice. The letter was not signed, and it had no return address. I wonder who could be doing this. The man had sat down to late dinner. He liked to read when he ate, and he was on page 4 of a new novel. The book in hand, he answered the door. His spaghetti and meatballs were cold by the time he remembered them. He sat at the table for a long time, looking first at the letter, and then out to the moon. Was this a joke? Who would go into the trouble of writing and sending such a letter? It was printed on expensive stationery, the kind you buy if you want to be impressive or pretentious. I wonder which this person's trying to be. Should he feel flattered? Suspicious? What did the person want from him? What kind of reward were they talking about? And who was it who knew him well enough to know? He'd say yes. A woman tossed and turned in her bed, her long hair trapping moonlight against the pillow. She was going over her list of names in her mind. The more she thought, the more agitated she became. She was not amused. Could this be a coincidence or a clever warning? What exactly did the person know about her past? She finally got up. A hot cup of milk would calm her nerves. She moved carefully in the dark, using the watery rectangles of light that fell across the floor. She wasn't about to turn on the kitchen light. The names scrolled on tiny columns through her mind. Each group belonged to a different chapter in her life. There was Milan, there was New York, there was Istanbul. But this was an invitation, not a threat. If things got strange or frightened, she could just change her mind. Or could she? Another woman lay awake under the moon, listening to the wind and the occasional whine of police sirens. This was one of the weirdest coincidences ever. Was this letter insane or inspired? And was she just being gullible, thinking this person was really writing to her? Maybe hundreds of these letters had gone out. Had her name been picked out of a phone book? Fake or not, the letter was intriguing. A centuries-old crime. What could this person be planning? And what about the spooky part? If you show this to authorities, you will most certainly be placing your life in danger. Maybe this was Manic, one of those serial killers. She pictured the police going through her apartment and finding the letter, standing over her body saying, "Sheesh, she should have just called us first thing. She could have been alive today." A lone cat yowled in the alley and behind her bedroom, and she jumped, her heart pounding. Sitting up in her bed, she shut the window and locked it. How could she not say yes? This was a letter that could alter history. All right, guys, that was the end of Chapter 1. Great job. Remember, if you need to listen to it again, you can listen to the recording as many times as you'd like. Make sure you answer all those questions and you submit them to me as soon as possible. The sooner you get them in, the better. Make sure they're always in by that Friday of whatever week that the chapters are due. If you have any questions, just come ask me in school. I'll be happy to help you out. Bye, guys.